You're listening to the Rogers Sporting Goods Podcast with Patrick Fisher,
Chandler Smith,
and Josh from Outdoor Limits.
In this podcast, we'll touch on everything from gear to ducks to deer, turkey and fishing. From field to table, let's dive in.
Wasn't it like snowing last time we drove down the NWTF? It's like snows every time we go to NWTF, so yeah. We just pray for good roads leaving.
We've had good roads. If we don't have good roads, Pat's not going. I'll meet you guys out there. I'm going to fly.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. Huh? Back to the Future?
Is that what that, I thought that was from like a...
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I don't know.
They're getting ready to take off.
It's been so long since I've seen that
Doc
movie.
and Michael J. Fox and his
original
girlfriend in the back seat. I don't know. There's so many now.
Well, there's 3, right? Or
Yeah,
4?
I think there's 3.
3.
There was even one they went back to Western times.
Yeah, I like that one. They had to, spoiler alert, they had to get back with a train, was pushing the car. They had to get the train to 88 miles an hour. You remember that?
No.
And the whole dramatic scene was the bridge was not there.
Oh.
They haven't finished the bridge yet, but they did have the bridge finished in whatever time they're coming back to.
What year was, on the original, what year did the Cubs win the World Series?
I think it was 22, 23.
Did they hit it?
They were like a year off.
Hang on.
Were they like a year
They were
off
pretty
from it
close.
actually
I
happening?
think it was a year
something
off.
like that.
We did, yeah.
We don't have the hoverboards.
Not yet.
We
Sort of. Not
kind of
really.
do. They're on like
On a wheel.
no. There's been somebody who's made it with magnets.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's pretty
propel
boring.
Itself. It's like in just a little
You can just
roller rink type thing. You can't go beyond.
There's
it.
like a,
can't do a kickflip.
you can like look at, I guess it'd be past movies now about the future. But like some of them are like right now.
Yeah.
That was the future.
It was 2015.
It was 20. That's what I thought it was 2015. It was around when the Royals were
Yeah,
playing ball.
I think that there was a date. It was like October something.
Yeah.
that they were going to, and that was what
Something.
22, 23, 2020.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
Maybe I'll have to look it up.
Huh.
Just because we're talking about it.
Because they win the World Series in the future.
Yeah,
Or whatever. Gosh, I need to go back and watch that.
October 21st. What year? 2015. Yeah, it's
am I remembering something wrong?
2015.
Is the movie.
Well, that's when
It's-
they won.
it's
That's when they
number
won the
2.
World Series.
Yeah.
But what was the date that they were going to?
Originally for...
I don't know. I thought that there was like recently a date that passed.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
You get up on your movie times.
They went back to 1955, or that's where they started. Or no, 85.
85.
Then he went back to 55, and he did go to 2015.
Yeah.
I don't know of anything past 2015.
Maybe I'm
Hayden?
crazy. I must be crazy.
Well, probably.
Because, yeah, I see 2012, 2013, 2015.
Anyways,
Oh, well. Little tidbit.
Now you got something to do this weekend, Patrick. Catch up on those.
Catch up on them all.
yeah, if you need a DVD box set, I have it.
Oh, do you?
I do, actually. The nice one, too, like holographic case and everything.
You got the collector's edition.
Pull out my PlayStation and put it in.
You got a PlayStation?
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 2?
I do.
I think it was 2 or 3. I don't know.
Was it anyways? Hey, I always say like PlayStation 2,
It's all
and
black.
Hayden looks at me like I'm crazy, like I'm playing some Atari game or something.
Ah, dude, PlayStation 2 is the
Wasn't
best.
that like 2002,
Yeah.
What?
2003
Yeah.
when that came out?
Yeah.
It's pretty old.
It's not that old.
I still have mine.
We were talking about.
I still play Gran Turismo on mine.
Me and Beth were talking today at lunch,
Which is now a movie.
Frozen, and I was like, that movie is over. Is it 12 years old? No,
Yeah,
the first
probably.
one?
I don't know.
Which
Makes
is
sense.
crazy
Yeah.
to me. It just feels like
Yeah. Well, I was watching, Pete's Dragon and Jungle Book. Look those dates up.
Speaking of Frozen,
Good segue.
It is Frozen.
Everything is frozen. How did we see the freeze line in the United States? Like Houston was shutting schools down. They shut schools down for anything, like a little speck of snowflake. But they're having some freezing stuff issues. And
yeah, I don't know. I know that there's a lot of places that have snow and ice that don't normally see snow and ice.
mm-hmm.
But as far as like the freeze line is concerned, where like everything is frozen,
Is it in Arkansas somewhere?
I don't know where that's at right
Oklahoma.
I don't know if it's
Arkansas?
quite. When we got our first snowstorm, they were getting like tornado warnings in Arkansas.
Yeah, I believe that. But
So what is weird is, and people talk about it a lot, like schools don't close up north, but they'll close around here for freezing. The difference is it's always been like my cousin lives in northern, or I don't know where, in Montana though, but it was negative 62-degree wind chill.
yeah,
But they go to school.
yeah.
There's no getting out.
And I guess we didn't like some of the.
But if it's negative anything around here,
Here, we're
most
closing.
likely we're closing.
yeah,
But that's abnormal for us, which is why, you see them close up there.
It's
always been like that.
I feel like we deal with roads okay and stuff like that. I didn't think about that. Like Montana, you go to school no matter.
You're pretty much going.
Yeah,
Well,
Iowa got hammered.
Yeah, they did.
My uncle was trying to, I don't know if, let's see, he would have been finishing up bow hunting up there. And in 4 days, they got like 22 inches.
yeah.
It was crazy.
It's a lot of snow.
And what's really crazy is, I don't know if it was abnormal, but it was warm really up until like 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember guys coming in for like goose hunting. It was, everything was warm, so everybody's like hunting ponds and doing that type of stuff, not field hunting.
Yeah.
Because there's so much water open. And then just within the past week and a half, it's like total switch.
Oh yeah.
Complete opposite. I mean, we're probably, from our high 2 weeks ago, I don't know how you'd look at it. Like,
Can you look in the back? Can you look backwards on the temperature, Josh?
Yeah, I can. I'm actually looking at my cell camera, seeing when things locked up.
I was just wondering the last time it was 60 degrees.
Oh, I don't know.
I bet it was
So on the 8th, it was 29, and I had open
On when?
water. The 8th.
8th of January, and you had open water?
Yeah, there's some ice here on the 6th, 27 degrees.
27 or negative 10. I mean, it's a 30-degree difference just in real temp.
I felt like, was Christmas 60 degrees?
It was.
it was raining on Christmas. I know that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I had ducks.
So we're probably close to around then, Christmas
I had
time.
ducks in open water and 33 degrees on January 1st.
I'm trying to go back to, like,
You want to see when it was
What do you
really
got, like,
warm?
Christmas?
I want to see when I was, like, thinking about going swimming.
Like the 25th?
41 on the 29th.
Yeah. So I bet we're pretty close.
I mean, we had, like, a 65 or 60-something degree day.
I think it was longer ago than you guys might recall.
Yeah.
33 on December 25th.
Oh.
What was the Friday before that?
The thing is, it's just such a big difference.
53 on the 24th at 2:17 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what
So
that's
it
what I
might have been
remember.
close
Like,
to that.
like the day
Yeah.
before Christmas, before that rain, it was like
It was really nice.
you were wearing shorts and a t-shirt and outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
having a
hunting
grand
was
old
tough.
time. Yeah.
We literally just now got a weather advisory from National Weather Service about a wind chill advisory for
Friday?
for right now.
No, we didn't. Your phone's messed up.
I need to go outside
Amazon
and soak in
Alexa
some
4
sunshine.
minutes ago, U.S. National Weather Service has issued a wind chill advisory for Liberty.
What?
Well, it can't be worse than it was
Currently, right now,
on
it's like
Saturday.
it's 30 degrees.
It was like -11 the other day.
It's 30
I
degrees.
just got one.
Yeah,
This
whatever.
is a
Crazy.
heat wave.
Your
It's
apps.
crazy.
You got in your app and it's
So
decided to
they're
send you something because it's nice out. I mean, I'm wanting to go out there and work the rest of the
next
day
week
outside.
so Friday is going to be cold again,
9 degrees.
and then by Monday, Tuesday next week, we're in the 40s
Yeah, and raining. So,
and raining.
which I don't like either. I don't mind.
So
Like
up and down.
I don't mind 32 degrees or 20s.
And this is a little bit, obviously, this is way colder. It's kind of a one-off, but like and we'll probably get into this, but it freezes every year.
Sometimes.
And it gets cold enough where at least your ponds are freezing up.
You
Might
remember,
not freeze up the whole lake.
I mean, last year we had
But you
that, had
forget
that
about it.
Arctic blast.
Yeah. Well, this was definitely an Arctic blast, polar plunge.
Well, last year's Arctic blast was in February, though.
No,
right?
it wasn't. It was
Was
like
it?
right around New Year's.
Was it?
Yeah.
And so if
I don't
anybody,
remember much of an Arctic blast. Was it like a day or two event?
No, it was really cold.
this seems
For a long time?
prolonged.
Like, yeah, like reservoirs were freezing up.
Yeah. I guess because you were diver hunting and dealing with all that.
Wasn't that when Texas, like,
Yeah,
were cars
Texas-
Their ice
that was
storm?
iced over in Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the pipes are busting
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Mm. Dang.
Seems like once a year we
But
get
you
one of these-
forget about it.
Yeah, we get one of these big freezes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of, it goes to the wayside. And if anybody watched any football over the weekend, they were talking about how cold it was. Buffalo pushed a game to
Yeah.
Monday, which was hilarious because they were still snowed in.
That looked like a great game to be at.
The field was cleared. They didn't have enough time to shovel all the snow off the seats. So they said, screw it.
They
And people
allowed
were like-
fans bring in like snow shovels.
You were like digging
Yeah.
trenches to figure out where you were sitting.
No,
Like-
they hired people.
Oh
They
yeah,
were paying
20 bucks an hour and free food.
Yeah.
to go to the game,
But they didn't
go
have
shovel.
enough.
to go shovel for the
Yeah,
game.
they didn't have enough people show up.
I sure hope that those people got tickets to the game.
Probably. I mean,
There's no way,
Where,
right?
where
I
did they
doubt
put
they
it
sold
all?
out.
Like when you scoop snow, it has to go somewhere.
Yeah, they put this
There's a sled.
like a sled deal down the aisles that go down to the field, and then they can pick it up with the
Yeah.
scooper.
I swear, like the time of the game, people were running in there with their snow shovels, like to watch the game.
Yeah,
I think they were.
Yeah, and I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, how do you? I mean,
But you couldn't get to your seat.
you go through security.
Literally.
Here, let me put my snow shovel over here on the table while I
Can you
go
put
through
that
security.
shovel in the basket?
Yeah.
And if you're watching the Chiefs game, which was at night,
Saturday.
fourth coldest game in NFL history.
Yep. What was like
and
the real temp?
the
Negative-
coldest.
I think it was
Negative
-6 with a
10.
wind chill of negative like 25 or 30
Yeah,
or something
we
like
were
that.
pushing -6 to -10,
Yeah, that's what I remember.
and then and it was the coldest game ever at Arrowhead.
yeah.
And some info, roughly somewhere between 10 and 15. I heard 12 people did get frostbite
Yeah.
and
I
lost
assume.
lost some digits.
Oh, really?
Goodness.
Really?
Yeah,
Just for a football game.
I mean, yeah. I was like, dang, it's
Yeah.
cold.
I think they're gonna regret
mean-
that.
If you, the thing is, like, we, and not everybody, right, knows how to dress for that extreme cold.
I guess that's
we
true.
kind of get used to it because of all the weather we hunt in. Like Colton went,
Did he?
my son went, and he comes in. Then it would have been Friday,
Sunday Friday.
and he goes, "Hey, I am gonna go to the game."
Okay.
He goes, "Help me out." So
What was he? What was he wanting to buy?
because he doesn't have no home, he didn't need to buy anything. Me and
Oh.
Sonya had stuff,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
we literally layered him up. We had some like polypropylene socks, and then like a heavy wool sock
Yeah.
with some Arctic Pro boots. I'm just kind of working my way up here.
Yeah.
Base layer, we started with merino heavyweight bottoms, and then I had some late season like wader sweat deals from Drake,
Gotcha.
and then he just threw on some sweatpants, and then the Sitka Fanatic bibs,
Okay, so he did
over
have
that.
He had 3 layers plus a Fanatic bib on top.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then his top was a merino heavyweight quarter zip.
Quarter zip, yeah.
And then the Fanatic hoodie. And then a vest, windstopper vest.
Yep.
And then a 550 goose down jacket.
Puffy, yeah.
And then the Sitka Fanatic jacket.
Wow.
And we text
That's
him. We text him about the third quarter, so he's a good 2 hours into the game.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I'm almost too warm."
Yeah, I would have said he's got like one extra layer, maybe not the bottoms, but one extra top
Yeah,
that I would have probably eliminated.
Was he wearing any Chiefs gear over top of that?
I was
or
wondering,
it
he
just-
probably threw a jersey over, right?
no,
he didn't. He
but
was just,
that was hilarious. All the people wearing the jerseys, like, how many layers can I stuff under this
yeah.
size 10X jersey? It's funny, they did a fan cam, so all I caught was him.
That's him?
Yeah.
Gotcha. He wasn't even looking at the camera. He just had his head turned.
We did get that guy.
Yeah, I was looking to try to take a picture
That was
of
the main one for the Rogers apparel.
Yeah, I was
Was the guy in
Was
the...
somebody's decked out in Rogers
That's
gear?
the original
foul weather jacket.
foul weather jacket with the blue and black
Oh,
RG
yeah.
logo.
Yeah.
Yep. So whoever you are,
Yeah, you got to send us an email. If you're at the
screenshotted you.
Chiefs game with the original foul weather jacket, blue RG logo,
And like a
130 grams
Habitat.
of Prima Loft. Was it Habitat?
shadow grass or,
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah. You got to send us
black face
an email,
mask. Yeah.
podcast at rogersportinggoods.com.
We need to get
'Cause that was-
we need to get him set up with the new one.
Yeah, that was on national television.
So
But yeah, could you believe how
But
much
yeah.
Sitka you saw at that game?
tons of Sitka.
Like everybody was wearing Sitka. Even the guy without a shirt on had subalpine gloves on. And I was like, okay, you're not wearing a shirt.
I think he had Traverse gloves on,
Yeah.
Sonya said, which
Yeah.
is funny because it's just like a.
And he's wearing subalpine Traverse gloves.
He might have
Like,
been a guy that lost a digit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how long he was doing that, but there's 2 guys at that game not wearing a darn shirt. And
Cannot
I'm like,
imagine.
No,
I mean, yeah, it's stupid.
but okay. So I guess to my point was, I guess I just take it for granted because and every
Yeah.
hunter out there, you can kind of relate to this. Like you've dealt with super cold temps, so you're kind of prepped for this. But we did have a lot of people come in and try to figure out what to buy. We sold tons of those heated vests, so hopefully that worked out well for everybody.
Yeah, my buddy Adam came in and bought like 5.
Did he?
Yeah, a lot of guys.
Yeah.
With this whole
Awesome.
thing, people are buying those heated vests like crazy.
And you can wear a less of a layer
Yeah, if you
by
didn't,
wearing a heated vest.
if you didn't know,
Like there's ways to layer too without looking like the Christmas Story,
yeah,
balloon animal.
yep,
So, anyways, if you want to know how to dress for cold weather, you can always stop into the store and we'll get you set up.
yep,
But it was definitely cold.
yeah, and their clothing associates, they understand layering and what material types
Yeah,
do
there's
what
definitely
in certain spots.
an art to it.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of goofy, but like growing up, how many times did we just throw on cotton
Yeah.
or the,
Oh, yeah.
the old waffle long johns, or just as long as you had boot socks, you thought that was a warm sock because it was
know.
long. We're like, well, we'll throw on my boot sock. It's all cotton.
Yeah, I like that. I like it when guys like, oh, I need boots for deer hunting. I'll throw these cowboy boots on,
Yeah,
and then they got in here like that's
yeah,
no traction, no insulation,
Yeah.
nothing.
yeah. Or you feel like, or they get too tight of a boot.
Yeah,
You don't realize you need some extra space in there. Like there's just so much I've learned over, trial and error too.
Yeah.
But the right type of clothes can make a difference and make you more successful out in the field because stay out there longer.
yeah. I need to
So,
order. This is random. We'll get into our topic, but I had a pair of these Columbia Omni heat insulated bibs, completely waterproof.
The ones with like the Mylar on the inside, the shiny reflective.
The shiny
material.
reflective. Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are my favorite bibs, and I've lost them.
I had a vest with that in there.
Really?
I loved it.
I had the bibs. I had them for fishing. I always figured if I needed bibs when I was fishing, it probably wasn't that warm. So why not get a little bit of insulation?
Yeah.
So like for a long time, and it still is really like if I'm if I was going to fish a tournament or really go out fishing and it was going to rain and I just I'm going to go out and do it, I'd be wearing like those bibs and then a Columbia rain jacket, like a nice one, a PFG.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't looked at rain jackets.
That's
in a while.
Sonia's warmest coat is the one with the Omni Heat.
Yeah,
and then they made
the gold ones.
the gold ones.
Yeah, and I don't know if it has just a better heat reflection,
right.
but all it's trying to do is reflect your body heat backwards and don't lose it through the fabric.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So, being biased here at the table, but congrats, Chiefs.
yeah,
Shout out to Winchester.
Yeah,
Our
if you're
man,
listening to us in
our
Florida, Tyreek's pretty cool,
Yeah,
but
we like Tyreek. I mean, he was our dude for a while.
yeah, but
so.
Snead did put the hammer down on him.
He goes, Tyreek's, he sent out a tweet, and he loves jawing back and forth like him and Chris Jones, and they have fun with it. So I don't think there's any ill will that when Tyreek does it. But the one, I'm not going to quote it verbatim, but he's like, he knocked my back to Cancun or whatever, like when he got hit. He's like,
Yeah,
it was vacation time for me.
yeah.
But it was fun.
When this comes out, we will have played our
We will
next
have known.
game, and
We'll either
Who knows
be,
if
words could be eaten pretty hard.
yes,
so.
we'll either be going to our 6th straight AFC championship game,
Yep.
6 in a row,
Who do you think that'll be?
or
Baltimore?
well, we got to get through Buffalo. First.
No. I'm not talking about our side. But on the
Oh.
other side of the bracket.
I mean, if
who do
I
you think's
was
going to make it?
if I was just to pick straight up, not the point spread and all that,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
who's favored and by how much, I would just tell you Baltimore.
Yeah, you think it's going to be
But
Baltimore
there is
Chiefs?
something about the swagger that CJ Stroud has for the Texans. I mean, you all got a good one there.
Yeah,
You can tell he's got what it takes,
yeah.
and the passion,
And I haven't
and
kept
a rookie coach.
And I haven't kept up on what went down with him because I felt like the beginning of the year, like no one was showing up to the games, like for the Texans or something like.
Yeah, I mean, I think they thought it was a rebuilding year anyways, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
we've got something going here. So
CJ Stroud reminds me,
I don't know
like
what
this
I did
year,
there.
reminds me of Patrick Mahomes in his rookie year, which is really cool to see. It's just
super cool.
good football.
He's
Just fun to
definitely
watch.
it'll be fun to watch. So we got a true road test for the first time ever for Mahomes.
yeah.
Got to play on the road, and
I think we've done better on the road this year. To be quite honest.
record wise, we are 6-2 on the road, 4-4 at home, and 1-0 in Germany. So,
Anyways,
but that's regular season, and this is really once you make the dance.
Yeah.
This is what matters. So, the goal is always to win a Super Bowl.
yep.
I mean, as far as home games go, this run of playoffs, if I'm correct, every team that played other than the Dallas Cowboys who had a home game, the home team won. Am I correct on that?
Probably.
Yeah, because the Packers won on the road. Yeah, everybody else won at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a lot of beatdowns this weekend. If you're listening to this podcast, I have no idea what went down, but
There's no.
Dallas.
We're talking about round one.
If you,
of the
I'll tell you
playoffs.
this. I know we're
we're way
getting
off right
you
now.
guys are getting me excited talking about football. If you love quarterback play,
Yeah,
great quarterbacks, and there's been eras where there's been great quarterbacks, like the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could throw in. You had the Drew Brees, Roethlisberger. Like that was an era.
yeah.
We're lucky right now with the quarterbacks we have to watch with Lamar Jackson,
Just, yes, on the
Mahomes,
AFC
Joe
side.
Burrow, Josh Allen.
Yeah, you just listed all AFC right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not even throwing in, I don't know where you want to put Dak, but like there's some CJ Stroud now,
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, even though Dak lost this
Who day?
game, Dak
Who
Prescott?
day?
Oh, no. Even though they lost, they still have a great offense. I think it's more of a coach.
Oh, yeah, every year they're the best team on paper.
And then
How long? They've been saying that since like '99.
That was a dig at you Cowboys fans, but I'm poking fun. right? It's sports. We've got to poke fun at each other. But anyways, the main thing is congrats to your team if you won. And it was frozen, which leads us into really what we want to talk about, which is to get back to our hunting. But now that it's frozen,
Yeah.
and if you're still wanting to hunt water, you got to do something about it.
Yeah. Some of my
You know? And not everybody has a field style setup.
true. Some of my favorite hunts have been in an ice hole. That's what I'd call it. So we're talking about, if it's like this, sometimes you can hunt a feed right in the field, and if you got those decoys and stuff. But what about those days on the farm pond or a small reservoir or something where you go out and you say, "Hey, I'm gonna bust a hole in this ice, and I'm gonna set up a spread around here." And the birds are using this area, and when they see this, it's game over.
Yeah.
And it does some magical things sometimes. I really think so.
It does, like that's why you kind of see rivers
Yep.
get a lot of birds late in the year because
Yep.
it's the only open water.
Yeah, and
Water's king.
And there's, you can use some of those sandbars and ice spots to really make some cool looking spreads. I think some of the spread art, if that's the saying, waterfowl spread art.
Yeah, it is now.
I think that's really fun to do when you have ice involved.
I make my initials. I don't do that. That'd be cool though.
But I don't know, just hunting over ice. I mean, Josh, we can talk about maybe ice rippers first, or just
Okay.
I say ice rippers, ice eaters, ice rippers. There's
Ice removal tools.
ice removal tools.
Yeah.
I mean, we just kind of go
what to do. Like
not everybody can get an ice ripper,
right?
or an
It's
ice eater.
it's a big investment.
Yeah, but
And what to do. Like, let's just talk getting open water. Not
Okay.
even decoy setup or anything like that. Like,
Let's start with when the freeze first happens.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have a period when you see the temps dropping, water's going to lock up. And so that first day when things really start to lock up, it's really not that big a deal. You can go in, let's say a public marsh, you have like a 1/4 inch of ice.
Mm-hmm.
Go walk around, build you a little hole, cut it out, try and keep that middle piece as solid as you can, and just slide it underneath the ice.
So
Yeah.
you're talking about
Like when the freeze just starts to hit.
So it's not thick. Yeah, you'll break through the ice
Yeah.
with your
standing
boots
on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
which you need to be careful.
Yeah.
Waders can get damaged.
True. We do have a lot of protection on our
Yeah.
Rogers waders now in all the areas that would be involved in ice. I'm not too scared about it anymore because of that material goes all the way to the ankle. But if it's higher than that, ice can get sharp and puncture. But so, one thing I don't like in some of these late season ice holes is a lot of shards and small pieces of ice.
Mhm.
I just don't think it looks as natural, so I really try to avoid that.
So what you can do is you can take a rake, a hard rake. You can rake the ice out.
Rake it out from which direction? Like, what do you mean?
Like if you got small pieces
use it
floating
to
around,
just
like-
kind of get those small pieces out of the way.
Yeah. But what I don't like, too, is I don't like throwing the small pieces on top of the ice.
Correct. You can push them underneath
Yeah.
it or throw them on the bank.
Yeah.
Because when it's that cold, I'm not sitting in the water.
No, I wouldn't say that. I just, sometimes you get lazy and you get rushed and you just throw things over the edge of the
And
ice.
it's dark, so you can't see what's happening. And then when the sun comes up, you look, you're like, what mess did I just make?
Yeah, it's really bad. But, I like whenever the ice is strong enough to support you and you can go in with some type of cutting device and make the perfect hole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like perfect circle, but like clean edges, great shape to it.
So let's back up just a second. The reason why ice holes are effective and the reason why you can cut a hole open and then birds come back in to use it is birds will actually go and sit on the ice and melt a hole through that ice.
Yep.
And they'll keep that open.
And they'll keep it open.
So what you're doing when you're doing that is you're basically just mimicking what the birds naturally do.
Correct.
So if you're thinking to yourself, why would I go cut a hole in the ice? That would just look super unnatural. Well, it's actually something that naturally happens.
But it allows, it gives you some, you'll use decoys in here in different ways you wouldn't use decoys, all the other times of the year. You're going to bring out shells, and we'll get into that here in a second. But
keeping the ice hole clean is what you guys are saying.
yeah,
I don't know if it makes
Don't
that
have
big of a
stuff
difference, but
floating around,
I feel
the
like it
big
does. This is
chunk,
personally I do. Like
slide it underneath.
I want big chunks I can slide underneath.
Yeah.
I've had holes
Makes
where,
it easier.
I mean, there's just 100 little chunks about that big floating around. You're like, this doesn't look good.
Like that could be where a rake
And sometimes
helps.
that's all you got to do. I mean, that's what happens. So to do that, my favorite thing, I don't bring a chainsaw out, but my favorite thing is an axe or a split and maul. Split and maul, really.
Yeah.
Split and maul has the weight, and it doesn't shatter. So some people go out and bring a sledgehammer to make their hole. But the moment you hit a sledgehammer on that ice and you go around and you make your perimeter of your hole, all your impacts make these little cut
Like
lines.
splinters.
Yeah. Fractures in the ice. And when you really bust it open, then you get a bunch of small parts.
Mm-hmm.
And that creates a headache. So when I use a split and maul, it's really making a cut. And I can just walk a line and make a perfect cut. And I love doing that in the morning. And because I don't know why I like getting in the water and shoving the ice under, trying to get.
There's something satisfying.
It's
about
trying to
it.
get
Or like
the
when
biggest-
you're breaking the hole, and then it cracks all the way across and breaks off. You're like, oh,
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, I got this big sheet. Sometimes
it's like
bigger
the size
than
of
this
this
table.
room.
Yeah, and you're like pushing it, rotating it in a circle.
Yeah.
Spinning it and like starting to get under the ice and then starting to shove it in and spinning it and pushing it in at the same time. It's a blast. So with that, I do recommend decoy gloves.
Yes.
And I do it too. I go out there, we have to bust ice, and I don't bring the right gloves, and it's just everything's soaking wet from your hands to your elbows. Because when you're starting pushing stuff under ice and stuff, you just get everything wet.
Yeah.
So decoy
your
gloves are huge.
Yeah. Like up to your elbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think any waterproof glove is going to be a blessing, but up to your elbow is going to be
Get
amazing.
them trapper ones that you go up to your
Good if you want
Shoulder.
to.
Good if you want to, yeah. And a lot of the PVC ones are good. So like Bandit and make some PVC, like those orange ones. Those are great to have. But some people use a chainsaw. Have you done that?
No.
They'll bring out the chainsaw and they'll just, chainsaw around my waders. I mean, be careful.
I'm sure the ice isn't good for a chainsaw either.
I don't know. But it rips through it.
Yeah, it does.
I bet.
I don't know about how well the chainsaw curves because I've never done it. But it might be. You got like a square hole.
I'd be out there with just my little.
You got a little Ryobi one or something? That might be great. Electric chainsaw on an extended pole. That might be awesome. It just
Wonder if
depends on
the
how thick the
Huey
ice.
man.
The electric one?
Yeah.
It might.
I don't know.
I don't know how bad they are for the blades.
Don't
Maybe
do
they're
that.
not bad at all.
Don't do that.
But some people use
just throwing it
chainsaws.
out
It just
there.
comes from ice fishing. Some people chainsaw
But
their.
those are the right tools. The long gloves, axe, whatever.
Yeah.
A rake. It's a good idea. Something to
bring
clear
it-
out those little chunks that
100%. Or I've seen guys bring like a snow shovel. The snow shovel is really good with that curve. It's really good at putting all the ice chunks in it and then just slinging it back to the bank.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
But the big thing is like that circle of the snow shovel like gives you like this launch thing. You know those little
It's
little toys when you were a kid
or something.
Yeah. You can really, really throw.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So once you have that open, and say the temps now we know is gonna freeze back up.
So Josh,
if I don't keep it open.
Yeah. So Josh, if you were running an ice ripper, you would do a small hole with like the tools that we were talking about. You would bust with a sledgehammer. It doesn't matter. Sledgehammer, axe. You'd make a small hole to fit your ice ripper, right?
Yeah. So I'd go out probably 15 yards from the bank.
Would you bust a hole all the way from the bank to it?
Depending on how thick the ice is, and like if I know the depth of the water, then I would walk out onto the ice and cut the hole. But if I don't know the depth,
you'll walk your way out there.
I'd walk my way out, breaking ice along the way, and then I would just slide the ice ripper next to me on top of the ice until I got to the spot I wanted to place it.
Yeah.
And so,
do you recommend gloves for ice ripper installation?
Yes, always wear your gloves because it's going to get wet. Your arms are going to go under the water.
Yeah, no matter what, to set it down or to pull it out, to adjust it at all, you're going to have to.
Gloves are recommended.
Yeah.
I've done it without it, but gloves are recommended. So one trick that you can do, so depending on the type of hole that you want and kind of the shape of your setup that you're going to be running, depending on like the pond or whatever, You can angle that ice ripper to be more angled straight up or straight out. Okay. So if it's angled straight up, you're going to get more of a circle hole. It's going to be pushing that water up and then round in a circle.
Yeah.
So what an ice ripper does is it creates ripples on the water to where the water won't freeze, and it's drawing the warm water up from underneath the ice to the top surface.
Yep.
Okay. So if you angle it more kind of straight, you're going to get elongated hole in the ice.
Yeah.
So what sometimes we'll do is we'll go out like the day before we want to hunt, like maybe in the morning, we'll set up the ice ripper, point it out at an angle, let it run.
Let it push a straight hole open.
Straight hole open, and then you come back later, you angle it, push some more, you angle it, you push some more, and by day 2, when you're going to hunt, your hole is going to be pretty decent size. Well, and it all depends on the thickness of the ice.
Yeah, and how cold it is acting against it, you know.
So like if it's 20 degrees and you've got 2 inches of ice, I mean, it's going to take a little while, but if you've got 4.5 inches of ice and it's 2 degrees, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah. You know, and some guys talk about getting them out ahead of the whole thing, so it doesn't get that thick.
Yeah, so you can also go out before the freeze and then just constantly keep your generator running.
Yeah.
So then it doesn't freeze up.
They say the ice ripper, this is normal conditions. So like this weekend wasn't normal.
No, it's
conditions.
Really
We're talking like, sub freezing, but not the negative 20 degree wind chills. And giving it ample time to work, roughly a 20 by 35 yard hole is kind of what they tell you. Ice ripper does.
Yeah, they can hold open. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, like, I guess that would be one of my questions, because you all have hunted over way more ice holes than I ever will.
Yeah. You sure about that?
Probably.
We can get you out there in the
the
might be next week.
Tundra.
When this
Probably
podcast is
start
dropping,
opening up,
we're going to be. I don't know.
I mean, it'll be 40.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of
there
ice
for a
right
while,
now.
we weren't going to push it back, and then we would have been.
Yeah.
Pat would have been out there with cutting. I mean, 20 by 35 yards, really, I mean, it's a decent sized hole, but you think, that's right there. Them birds are on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, when people ask, how big of a spot do you need? Do you really not need a giant hole? Because
I've hunted over a hole almost the size of this table.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 of these tables. And that's when it's like really thick and you just don't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say,
what are you just putting one rubber ducky out there?
well, two goose loaders. So I'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a little bit about the spread. At night with flashlights, you think your hole's the biggest hole ever. Then the sun comes up and you're like,
That's it?
that's all I got? Like, it's like you think you have this Olympic sized swimming pool out there, and then the sun comes up and you're looking at a kiddie pool that you blew up and you bought from Walmart. That's like you know, you're like, man, we got out here and it took forever. We went this huge, loop around and we have all this space, and then the sun comes up and you're like, this is a small hole.
Yeah.
This
But
happened
it
to
can
me.
be successful.
Yeah, it can be. And I think some of the cleanup and like making it look nice helps. Because if it's that
Right.
cold and it takes you that long to get a little small hole open, like sometimes it's what they're working with.
Yeah.
They're holding open a little bit of water.
Now,
And they'll,
not to get to the spread itself, but Canada's geese versus ducks. Geese will land on ice, though, won't they?
Ducks will too.
yeah, ducks will too. But yeah,
Okay.
I would say
Are geese more apt to land on some ice and then filter into the water, or?
I'm
would
not
maybe
sure.
I can see that, but we're gonna
I mean, I've had geese shortstop me on ice a lot.
a lot. Yeah,
Actually, now that I think about it.
I believe what you're saying is true.
Yeah.
For the
Did
most
you
part.
see? It's not off topic. Did you see the video going around of the mallard and its beak
Frozen.
got frozen?
Yeah.
And then it, couldn't get it off. It's trying to get it off, and it's frozen its beak shut. And obviously being smart enough, but it tucks its beak back under, like it's preening.
Yeah.
In the preening position until it warms up and starts melting off. I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah. And it's crazy what these birds can do.
I mean,
And
that's wild.
When on my deer hunt in Texas a couple weeks ago, I was talking to the guide. He is like, this guide goes all over he guides in Canada, then goes to Texas, and then he's in Jamaica on a ship.
Doing
For
what?
Fishing charter kind of thing.
I was like, did he watch the movie Migration?
Yeah.
They really went to Jamaica?
No, I don't. Maybe the Jamaica. I can't remember. He's out there fishing charters, like,
Okay.
like that's like he does all sorts of stuff.
Dang.
A buddy of his who lives up in Canada was sending him a picture of ducks at like -20 in Calgary. Just
Isn't that
like
crazy,
chilling.
though? I mean, to me, just to think that they're outside all the time.
Well, yeah, they're not down here in Arkansas or Missouri. They're still up there in those
I
conditions.
mean, that's wild.
yeah. But didn't want to get off on a tangent there.
I know
Yeah.
and that's why we make goose down jackets.
Yeah.
So
So we
Ice
keep
Ripper-
saying ice ripper, but
Yeah.
let's talk about the different options out there for
Sure.
ice
yeah,
eater, ice ripper, ice.
yeah, some
removal.
some moving water.
Because I got a cool one to talk about.
and we've sold multiple ones over the years,
Because ice eater was like the original, like
like the Mallard View Ice Eater.
yeah,
It's got a square stand that you put your the motor portion of it. It's like in a green, looks like a tube that supports in the middle. That was the Mallard View Ice Eater. Those have been around a long time.
been a long time, and you'll see some
I mean,
of
those were there when I first started and when we first
Yeah,
started. So it's
100%.
been over a decade.
and that the actual, like the motorized device, you'll see like under, like boat docks and stuff, keeping boat
Yeah,
docks
they
open.
just suspend them under.
But yeah, they hang them from like cables and things, and then Mallard
Right.
View figured out a mounting bracket.
Perfect
to
idea.
use them for duck hunting.
And then another popular one, which really came on over the past, 3 or 4 years now? Or maybe it's been 5 already
Maybe.
for us. But see, it's, not as long as the J2 Ice Ripper, which a lot of people have seen. A lot of people have got them from us. And that's actually from a gentleman. Does he make them
He's in Missouri, I
in
think.
Missouri?
Yeah.
Out of Missouri.
Central Missouri.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
We sell tons of those.
Yeah.
Little bit different setup, comes with the stand. It's more of a slender stand. There's a lot of adjustment, though, to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can go really shallow.
They can get super
Oh
shallow.
yeah, is that like a perk for him? Like
Yeah.
to go like really shallow.
Your range of water you can put it in.
Do you know
we were
is
running
is
in-
it 40 inches of vertical range?
I'm trying to think, whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't know, but we
3 feet.
we threw them on
roughly 36.
36. Yeah.
we were
something
using
like
it in
that.
like 8 inches of water on the Platte.
Yeah, super shallow.
Super
Oh, really?
shallow. Yeah.
And a lot of angleness you can do to it, like you're talking about up, down, whatever. They do a metal prop. Mallard View. It's like a plastic, like that green plastic prop you've seen. Higdon's
got one.
Higdon does the Ice Blaster. They had that one that runs off a charge, I believe.
Yeah, they had some smaller ones.
Like if you just, maybe it's not this thick ice.
yeah,
that you got
skim
like,
if you're dealing with skim ice, they had an ice blaster that was like you ran off a 12 volt like their old pulsators would.
but there's some times where that would be perfect.
And there's some times that water motion is great. That
Yeah, just-
constant flow in your spread
Right.
is awesome. With that, I want to talk about Ice X.
Yeah, right. I was on
That's the next one. That's the
Yeah.
last one that rounds it out, right? Lucky
Ice
Ducks.
X. Yeah, and then there's some other one, but the ones we've carried, J2 Ice Ripper, Mallard View, the Ice X, we've carried
Ice
some
Blaster.
of the Higdons.
Yeah, from Higdon.
That Ice X is super cool.
So a lot of these things that we've talked about, like the Ice Ripper and Ice Eater, you can get them in 110. You can get them at 220. Another
For
version.
the Mallard View.
Yeah,
The Ice Rippers,
it's just 110.
100-foot cord or the 200-foot cord, both are 110 standard 3-prong plug.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that, and then we did talk about the Ice Blaster has the battery with it, but they're kind of, you don't really just put them over your shoulder and
And out
take
you
them
go.
hunting with you.
No.
So like they don't like. I mean, Josh, I mean, you've taken them out to ponds and stuff. How do you get them out there?
A side by side or a pickup truck,
Pickup truck.
because the generator's got to come with it.
Yeah, generator's got to come with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or at least I try to get it as close as I can.
You know, you doing like the handheld, like a 2,000 watt generator?
No, I got one of the big generators. It'll run 2 ice rippers.
Oh, okay.
But it's got a wheel
Dang.
kit on it, so that makes
Oh,
makes it
Dang.
handy.
Yeah, that does make it handy.
Yeah. So the Ice X from Lucky Duck is a floating ice eater. So the Ice Ripper and the Mallard View Ice Eater, they have stands that sit underwater, and they can control the angle. This Ice X actually is a flotation ice eater that sits on top. It can work in very shallow water, because that's a perk of not having the whole stand and everything.
Basically, the motor sits right underneath what looks like a little
Buoy.
board deal.
Yeah. And the thing about that is it's very portable. It is not out of the question to put that in a jet sled.
No.
When you're dealing with ice, sometimes you're dealing with snow or icy conditions. Pulling a jet sled is really not that bad. You know, like right now, I can pull a jet sled a while because it's going to glide. It's going to fly on it.
Yeah.
And then pairing that with a small Honda generator or like appropriate generator that's pretty darn light,
Yeah.
that thing can go a ways back if you need to get back somewhere. Or if you can't get the truck or you can't get the UTV or you don't have a UTV, that right there can get, you know, if you need to park and access a river or access something from a ways out, you could throw that in a sled. I mean, you might even be able to carry it with a couple guys, like one guy carry the unit, one guy carry the
If you split it up.
Yeah.
It comes with a 7-foot or 7.5 foot anchoring pole. You don't need that as long as the unit itself, which you're probably going to get into, but you can hunt in any depth of water as deep as you want to go.
That's true. I was saying it can go in shallow water.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if it's 30 foot of water,
As they say, you could literally duck hunt over the Mariana Trench.
yeah.
It could be 1,000 feet as long as the thing, the floating device with the
ice eater
the
thing.
ice eater deal underneath is attached to something stable, whether it's your boat,
tree.
a tree, you could use an anchor, almost like a long line, a stump, you know, whatever, or the pole, which actually is a 7-foot pole for most any application that's going to work.
Yeah. And I mean, again, if you're running out in the boat too, I mean, you could grab a pole that's the length of your boat, 18 foot or something, if you needed to.
Yeah. Yeah, you could
Some
just
conduit.
You could do an open hole out in the middle of a deep water instead of having to
Imagine
make a hole right off the.
If you could get
Imagine
somewhere
if you could
with your
open
boat.
up Smithville in the middle.
You can get somewhere with your boat. You had a snow cover on your boat blind, and you're able to like make a loafing area with a bunch of decoys. It'd be fun.
It is super cool though.
One other thing
That's kind of how it works.
I'd like to touch on.
Let's do it.
So in Kansas, we have a split, and it's in January. Some of my best hunts I've ever had are from the ice holes that the birds keep open during the split. Ooh. So if you've got a big freeze, you're looking for birds, try and find where they're keeping those holes open and hunt that hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot less work.
True.
And the birds want to be there.
Yep.
So it's pretty fun when you can find one of those special holes.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, they're out in the middle.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes you can get lucky and find one that's accessible.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's when some fun can happen.
Yeah.
And you got to keep we talked about running it to keep the hole open. This isn't to put it out the morning of and you're hunting that day.
No, you got to plan ahead.
Yeah, you got to give it, like I was talking about, the ice ripper, giving it ample time to work.
I mean, we've done it where we put it in like the evening before our hunt, and then we hunt it in the morning, let it run all night.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when we do that, that's when the ice is kind of coming off, and we know that hole's going to be pretty good size the next morning.
Because there's some guys, they got to go out, refill the gas in the generator. Or, like we said, a lot of them will come with a cord. So if you can run it to power, then you don't have to worry about
and then there's
the generator portion.
Yes.
But.
And then there's some days with the right temperature, like on that Ice X, you could go out with it to hunt, and then you'll bring your shovel, you'll bring your split and maul.
Yeah.
You can cut open something decent, and then put that Ice X in there, and it'll start to grow it. It just got to be on those right days where it's at that threshold where like it's just warm enough to where it's starting to get a little bit slushy on top, and then the ice eater or ripper or Ice X is doing its job. It's just going to slowly start eating away, and that hole's going to grow over your hunt. And then if you can hunt it back to back, it's just going to.
I think one of the best times to open up a hole is when the ice is starting to thaw.
Yeah.
Like if you've got a good freeze that comes through for a week, and then you see the next week highs in the next week highs in the 40s.
Yep.
I mean, I would put an ice ripper out and get a hole open this weekend.
Which is what we're doing.
Nice.
Yep. So we'll get to see.
I'm excited.
Well, I'll pick you up Monday evening, the day this podcast comes out, and we'll
be on our way.
We'll see what the holes look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll all be on our way to Kansas. Well, you'll already be there.
Now you have this hole open. It's cold out, and the ducks are around, geese are around.
Yeah.
What does your duck spread look like?
How's it look different than a normal duck hunt?
It depends.
Yeah. Is it typically though you're probably going
that's the
smaller
best answer.
spreads?
I mean, it depends on the size of the hole I've got open, right?
Yeah.
So I
True.
want to have a place for the birds to land. So, I mean, if I'm working with a tiny hole, maybe I'll bring out 6 fully flocked mallard floaters, and that's it.
Yeah. So for me, like the duck hunting, I don't have a ton of full bodies, or I don't have like the really nice green headgear sleeper full bodies that have the retractable bases. Like those are awesome on the ice. But
Oh yeah.
I tend to use more floaters in a duck hunting scenario than I do the shells and the full bodies that you can do with the Canada stuff, which we'll talk about here coming up. But depending on the size, I want to leave water for the ducks to land in.
Mm-hmm.
So how big a hole determines how many floaters I throw out there. I do think some of those full body ducks really make something look fun if you have them. So FA makes a sleeper full body with a base, and if you don't have a base, bases are nice on the ice. Makes your life a lot easier. Greenhead gear. Do we still sell the sleeper? We don't sell the sleeper. This sleeper pack might be coming back. Hot tip for not this year, but down the road. But Greenhead Gear had made some. You can probably find them
with the
floating
retractable.
around. Yeah, but they probably have some type of rester pack now or a harvester.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the retractable base is you could put them.
There's one right behind you.
Yeah, I know. Right behind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want me to grab that?
Yeah, grab one. Does Dakota the Dabbler, where it had the recessed keel,
Oh, yeah.
That's a good option.
so you could set that on ice?
That's this right.
Heydays will fit. You can set those on the ice.
Heydays, the pro about that with that pontoon keel.
Mm-hmm.
Set those on ice.
I don't know if you can see that. All the arms are covering up, but we sold these for years, and I'd like to see them come back. Maybe they will.
But if you got those already, that's a good one to use. You probably already use them, obviously, but Dabblers, Heyday. Yeah.
Do we still sell this one?
Nope.
Same thing on this goose, which we'll talk about later.
Or maybe like a half shell.
But for ducks, I don't
That
see a
kind
lot
of
of a lot of shells on the market anymore.
No,
No.
Hayden,
Hayden
I
has some
think,
shells.
does a shell.
Yeah, but
Now, is your decoys, okay, so where we're sitting, if you're watching us, if not, you can kind of picture this in your head. So where you're hunting at, the hole's out in front of you, are your decoys on the far edge of the ice hole? Are
Probably
they
not,
mixed,
if
or
you-
are they on the front edge?
If you set it up correctly, you're going to have the wind at your back.
yeah,
Correct.
So they'll be
So I'd
closer
have
to
the
you.
they're
decoys on the
landing
close
into
side
you.
to me.
Yeah,
But also on the duck side of things, I would use goose decoys.
that's the next thing too. Like if you can mix in some goose floaters or some goose decoys around that,
Or
it's-
goose shells.
goose shells is a big one.
I mean,
pack 'em
that's
in
the
tight.
time of year when they're mixing and mingling. I
Yeah.
mean, they've got to have water too. So
So before we get to that, you run a spinner in the hole.
pulsator
sometimes
or some sort of agitator.
And if we don't have like an ice X or something, ice ripper, we will run some water motion in that hole just to kind of keep the ice to start to like, what do you call that type
it'll
of?
refreeze.
It'll refreeze and it'll start to like crystallize around the edges.
Yeah,
and
skim ice.
And stuff. So if you put some water motion in there, I forgot to say about put some water motion in there, like a pulsator, something that moves a decent amount of water, that'll keep those edges from creeping in on you. I think that's pretty important.
I think I was reading somewhere. A lot of time, like if you were to go watch a small duck hole, this is duck specifically, but you see them moving a lot because they are keeping them open.
So you watch ducks in general; they move a lot.
Like you put a swimmer out there.
Oh yeah,
so it looks more natural. They're moving around.
Put a swimmer out there with like a
anything that's
shovel
moving
on the
around
front of
water
it.
is good.
Yeah, put a.
Got my cord all tangled up here.
Oh no! Come back.
Yeah, as far as decoy numbers go, it all depends on the size of the hole.
I suppose it would depend on the
And
size
if you
of
bring
the hole.
too many, just
Leave some,
put them on the ice.
Yeah.
Put them somewhere, hide them away somewhere.
like the Heydays and the dabblers from Dakota, and some of those have those options to.
I'm sure you could still put just a regular keeled decoy out on the ice too.
It doesn't look as good.
But
artistically,
it would still work.
Artistically,
Yeah, but
Silhouettes.
for all ducks, I just don't know if you need as many. But if you start mixing in geese, I think that's really like the ticket.
It is the ticket.
It's
And
really the ticket.
also, the open water is very enticing to the birds, so you want to make sure they can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and some guys might be able to put 2 decoys in the water and 1 spinner and 1 pulsator and have a blast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe it.
I mean, because that flash gets them over there. They see that water.
Especially if you're one of the only open holes around.
Correct. So with that, I think mixing them is the best. If you can shoot ducks and geese, I would start to favor the goose decoys, and then just sprinkle in some ducks.
Yeah, ducks will
That's
decoy
a killer
geese.
spread. Ducks will, yeah. I would focus on a couple goose floaters, but don't like fill up the hole with goose floaters.
Yeah, you want to leave some open water.
Yeah,
Sleeper
but then
shells or
sleeper
something.
shells are
Tight.
amazing.
Oh yeah,
They look so natural,
it looks so good on the ice.
and you start to know which way your wind's blowing. So if it's at your back, or if you do have to cross shoot, figure that out, and you're at to direct your shells. I mean, I like to properly. Do you do that, Josh?
Face them into the wind.
Yeah, where their tails are facing downwind.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they'll set up on the ice hole, and then you can get kind of creative on how they pot them together. You know, you don't do like a 4x4 perfectly square 8.
Yeah,
8 decoys. You can just have some fun with it. Some kind of trickle off the back.
trying to tell a story.
Yeah, you just whatever your imagination comes up with.
And you can throw full bodies out there.
Yeah.
I mean, on bases, or if you have Bigfoots,
Yeah,
you
Bigfoots are nice. Bases. I mean, just dealing with stakes, it gets hard.
I'm going to have my goose. I'm going to add arms and give it 2 orange pylon deals.
Yeah,
Like it's directing in.
Traffic.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Have a little runway of lights right into your ice hole.
Like a little bit.
Some rope lights.
Yeah, some LED rope lights.
Going right.
That would be funny. That
would be hilarious.
But yeah, for geese, I mean, same thing.
Mix in a few ducks or just forget it.
Well, if it's only like ducks are closed and I'm hunting geese, yeah, I'm just throwing goose
Just throwing
decoys.
goose decoys out.
Less to worry about.
You
anyways.
Do you do sentries? You like sentries around the ice, or
I'm not particular about it. I just grab
it
and
doesn't
go.
matter.
I
You
just grab them
throw 'em.
out.
I
Maybe
didn't know
one.
if feeders looked weird, or if you thought that you wanted more just like simple uprights and rester heads on the full bodies, or
Just throw them out.
yeah.
I'm not
I've seen
too
some
picky.
guys do some like really cool spreads to where you got a couple resters around the edge of the ice. You have some sleepers around the edge of the ice, and you have like this one sentry like looking at the ice, like it's about to jump in, like cannonball kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
but
I'd go pretty light on the floaters.
yeah, leave that water
Just
show. The water
because I mean, you could have a group of 40 honkers coming through,
yeah.
and if they don't think that they can all land in that pool of water,
Yeah.
there's a high likelihood they're going to bounce or they're going to land on the ice.
And keep that in mind too, because you might on your downwind, your shooting lane, you might not put a bunch. You don't want to put a bunch of decoys there. I mean, you want to. I mean, you'll have some sleeper shells, but if you just go out with full bodies, you're not really giving them a spot to put down.
Yeah.
If they basically have to dedicate to the water or slide off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of put your, you can still face your sleeper shells with the wind, but they don't have to be right in front of you. You can pick a side or something. You can put them along the left side of the hole, but if you face them the right, stuff like that, you can play around with. But you kind of, if you see big groups flying that day, and your hole's only big enough for like 5 geese to fit into, maybe they might come in, but they might land short.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have to run kind of a J spread kind of thing or something.
The best piece of advice I can give somebody that's hunting a hole like that, especially if the ice is too thin to walk on, shoot them low in the hole and shoot them fast.
Yep.
You want to be able to retrieve your birds. It sucks when you're hunting like a big piece of water and they like sail off and they land out there. You're like, oh crap.
Yeah. How many?
Get out the snag and hook.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's lots of stuff we've done. We've had little dinghy boats that we've had to retrieve geese on the ice with. So what you're using to get around is you're using your splitting ball and you're shoving, you're just ticking the ice with it and shoving back, and you're flying on the ice with this, this little dinghy boat kind of thing. This is hunting a pond. That's really not that deep overall, but the boat was to help spread the weight, and in my mind, it was to be safe if the ice did bust. I would be sitting in a boat, So I've chased down geese that way. But yeah, you want to shoot them quick and don't let them get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and maybe you're up in your shot size or shooting TSS, something that has a little bit more knockdown than trying to shoot them with, some steel number 3s or 2s or something.
Yeah.
But before we get to the last part of this, anything else on the goose spread? Shells are amazing.
Oh yeah,
Full body sleepers are awesome.
Yep.
If Bigfoots are quick and easy. You want to run bases. Yeah.
Why don't more people set up so you're doing cross shots? Because that's how you practice shooting.
Yeah, it's the easy button when they're coming right at you, and I think it's cool looking.
I think you get a more effective kill shot.
More effective for sure
when you're shooting them
head on.
Head on.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of winged birds from the side.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'm going to start shooting trap with it coming right in my face.
Well, I mean, yeah. That stuff's just to get hone in your skills in general.
Except when it comes to waterfowl hunting.
I mean, it does help you out with like trap and dove hunting before season. Is some of the best things
I can see.
Some of the best things you can do before your first teal hunt and for your first duck hunt of the year.
I mean, shooting a decoy and duck. How much practice do you need, Patrick?
I don't know. We're about to find
if it's
out.
Just
the moment one lifts on them and jumps right or left, we'll get to see.
Yep, you're going to find out.
Yep.
But have you heard about the blue tarp?
I was going to bring that up.
The navy blue tarp.
Have you heard about the tarp?
Are you making a fake hole?
Yeah.
Did someone do this?
I've heard rumors.
I've never seen somebody do it.
I've never seen it done.
Really
You're going to look it up?
Like, you'd think that would go viral on YouTube if somebody did that.
If someone truly got it to work.
Yeah. I don't know if it would work. But
I think you could do it right now.
So the story is you take a big blue tarp.
I like navy blue.
And you lay it out.
Not ocean blue?
I don't think that looks as
Caribbean
natural.
blue?
You got like Caribbean blue tarp out there.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
You basically just trick the ducks into thinking that blue tarp is open water.
And I think you can do it better when you have snow on the ice too.
Do people do it on the ice or do they do it in a field?
I do it. I heard it on the ice.
He's opening up a pond and you're making a pond.
So you've heard guys do it in a field.
I think so.
It's like little strip water, like something. Man,
But like if if snow's covering everything, ducks don't know what's underneath it.
true. Oh, so you're saying if it's snow out, like completely snowed out, you go out there and you set like I feel like I would set a strip of tarps, like a longer strip, like a hot water spring or something, and then
What do you do? Put full bodies on it?
you would probably lay some duck floaters, inside of it, facing one direction, like it's got a running current, and then
Put a spinner out
put
there?
a spinner out and let her eat. You find anything?
There's all sorts of people talking about. They're different. I've heard that if you put a tarp that is blue over the ice when your hole freezes up, the ducks or geese will try landing on it. Is this true? Does anyone have any pictures of a setup like this?
Did you find any?
I've heard of that before. Seems a little hard to believe, though. This person this is 2008.
Yeah, this is kind of. I've heard
it does work. I was taught by a couple of old school ways. Let's see here.
Like I said, I haven't seen like any video or photo evidence of it.
That's what I'm saying. I want a picture.
We got to try it out Wednesday morning.
Chainsaw that person talked about. This person uses spray paint. They spray dark blue onto the ice. It freezes instantly and makes a great looking pond. And it doesn't blow around like a tarp either.
Wouldn't you think that your spray paint can would like freeze up?
I don't know. Maybe. That's why you got to have like a bag full of hand warmers.
Just go to Sherwin-Williams, get a bucket of paint, and throw it on the
There
ice.
you go.
We use a large blue tarp.
It's probably
one of
not
the cheap
good.
ones.
Don't do that. We're just dumping crap into our
20 by 28. We pile snow on the corners and made some small piles around the middle. The decoys held the rest. It worked, getting us ducks in the field.
So you're talking about working in the
That was
field?
a field, but
See, I feel like
no one has pictures.
Yeah.
And how about I just click images, Patrick?
So I feel like you make it circular. You roll up like the corners, and then you put snow like over the edges a little bit if you have snow. If you don't, maybe you figure something out. It doesn't matter, maybe.
I think that's the spray paint method.
That's the spray paint method.
Mm-hmm.
It does kind of look like open water.
Dude, that looks like open water for sure.
Hmm.
You don't see a tarp though?
That one's not a tarp.
Is that a tarp?
Don't tell the EPA you're spray painting the ice.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Here's a tarp on a field.
Is it a
DIY duck hunting decoy pond.
like? Is that even snowy out? That's just like
No.
It might be paint.
I'm making.
That's just water, fake water on grass. They're just making a pond.
yeah.
If you guys have done it, let us know. We'd really like to know.
That one,
You think someone's
that looks real.
that one's rough.
Just
Yeah.
a black
Well,
tarp.
you see how like the ones that look good, they've sprinkled in like little white
Yeah.
like ripples into it.
Mhm.
Maybe we should get like a
I
little
have
leaf
never
blower,
heard of this.
and you can like kind of slowly like paint the snow over
I
top.
thought that was now that looks like water.
Yeah,
You
it
can't
does.
tell it's not because the
the dog is literally sitting on the tarp.
I wonder what material that is.
It looks like just common tarp.
That looks like plastic.
I don't know.
But who knows how many of these are?
Just go to
fake
Home Depot and
pictures.
find something that looks like water.
Maybe we
Sure.
could. Maybe we can test it next season,
Yeah, I don't know.
just for fun. Why don't you do it? You do it, Josh. Let us know. I'll fund the tarp. You go do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I still need to do my 6 spinner challenge.
well, get on top of this. What are we doing
You need some spinners,
No.
but
now? One thing you're going to do because you're going to get a new dog.
Yeah, on Saturday.
So what about that?
so yeah, me
When
and
it
Josh were
comes
talking
to-
about this earlier, but
Oh, was I not here
well,
just now?
no.
Well, I was googling tarps.
Before we started this,
Oh,
hunting dogs with ice there's a lot to think about, and Josh is going to have probably the most information on that because there's a lot of scenarios. There's a lot of bad things that can happen, and not only with just the outside temperature and keeping that dog, warm and stuff, is there a certain temp that's a cutoff for you, Josh?
Generally, like below 20.
Yeah.
Is when I start to get really cautious.
Yeah. Okay. So talk about like what your thoughts are on ice and having a working dog on there and stuff like that.
It scares me, honestly. Yeah. Ice is unpredictable, as many ice fishermen know. You can go from being on good ice to bad ice in a split second. But as far as like when I do take my dog, the conditions I'm looking for is if I'm hunting a marsh when things are just starting to freeze up, or maybe we got like an inch or two of ice, I can still go bust a hole and hunt it, right? In that situation, I'm comfortable bringing my dog, because even if the dog were to break through the ice, I'm in a situation where I can recover my dog, or they can just fall through 6 inches of water. They're standing.
Yeah.
It's not dangerous. The ice can hurt their feet, so that's something to be mindful of. If it's really sharp, jagged ice, that can really take a toll on them. But when I don't take my dog is on situations, let's say I'm hunting a reservoir, I got a hole in the ice, and there's just nothing but ice all around that hole, I'm not going to take my dog.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're going to sail that bird. Your dog breaks, it goes out, it's 60 yards out in the middle of that reservoir, breaks through the ice. What do you do?
Yeah.
Because if your dog busts through, you're definitely going to bust through.
Yeah.
But always keep in mind recovery for your dog, whether they fall through or they're getting cold, all those types of things.
Yep.
So just be careful. It's okay to leave them at home and go hunt with your buddies and shoot them in the ice hole without the dog.
Yep.
Other things you can do is get one of those big, long extension poles. You can reach out there and grab some ducks if you don't bring your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those will go 20 feet.
Yep.
Work good.
But good vest. Vests are awesome on the ice. They'll protect their chest as they're crawling in and out of the ice.
Yep.
But yeah, ice and dogs scare me a little bit.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But usually, man, when they do it on an ice hole, you're dropping them in like 3-pointers right into the bucket.
Yeah. That's a perfect situation to bring your dog, but you also need to know your dog and the control that you have on your dog, knowing that if they do hop on that ice, you can get them recalled real fast.
Yeah,
and if you're not confident in that, I wouldn't bring your dog.
100%. So, and kind of going back to just general hunting, like you kind of start to figure out how to land your birds in the water, so you can walk out there and just grab them, turn around with a big old grin, and walk back.
If it's a really bad day, I'll just shoot them on the water.
True, but you'll start to figure out if they're coming in left to right or whatever. You got the timing right to where boom, and then it just sails right in the water. 3 points.
I like to get them as low to the water as possible before we shoot.
Yeah. So,
busting through ice to go retrieve a duck sucks.
It does suck. I've done plenty of it.
It is horrible.
We have a spot we like to hunt when it freezes, and why we like to hunt it is because we know we have, a football field worth of wadeable area under us, under the ice. Mm-hmm. We know, we're confident. We hunt this a bunch to where we know we can walk any of this area from these, we know the area we can walk. We know the depth. And we go out there, depending on how cold it is, and we just try to get the biggest hole open we can with the time we have. And it's sometimes pretty shallow. So we'll come out and we'll try to find like the calf deep water to start working on the hole, right? Because if it's really shallow, you're not sliding that under at all.
No.
Yeah.
So, but we just know confidently, like if that duck is 30 feet, off the hole, it's going to suck, but I'm going to break ice in a strip to that duck.
Yep.
Or break it to where we can get a stick and, lay down or something, driftwood and pull it back to us. But that's why we like to hunt a place like that, is because we know what type of water depth we have underneath the ice.
Yeah.
Yep. It's fun.
Sounds fun.
You know, usually
I think I've only done it a couple times, and that was geese.
and with this current condition right now with all the snow, man, a snow cover on an A-frame in a nice hole is just a blast. Pat can bring his buddy heater. He can warm up his Pop-Tarts, you know, on the buddy heater.
Yeah.
It's a blast. But we've done some pretty cool snow cover layout blind in a snowdrift on the side of a farm pond with the hole cut open. Oh, that's just mean.
It's magical.
Yeah, it is. It is. One of my buddies, the first time I took him duck hunting, we had to bust a ice hole open, and he thought it was a blast. Like, I was like, we're going to have to get here early, and I'm going to bring all these random farm equipment tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to go duck hunting, and he doesn't know what we're doing. Like,
Right.
he knows we're duck hunting, but he has no idea what we're getting into. But it's a fun time.
Yeah. So when people are watching this, will all three be heading to duck hunt?
Yeah, we're heading down south a little bit, not too far.
About an hour, just over an hour and a half.
Yeah, and we're probably still going to be dealing with ice, but next week we're going to see some 40s.
Yeah.
So I'll be ready for the swimming pools to open back up.
And specs open
all
back
that
up
stuff.
on the 20th.
Oh, on the Kansas side. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Jackson was telling me specs will be back open.
Sweet.
And Canada's.
Josh, you think we need some spec floaters? Like 1, 2, 3?
I don't know.
Well, come on. You're a
Sure, bring them.
Master Splinter. You teach me your ways.
But
You got to teach me.
sometimes I feel like when I call specs, if I just have some three of them, something for them to see, because I'll get them and they'll just
I've never shot a spec.
really.
Nope.
I'm offered on specs this year. I had plenty of opportunities, but they just didn't want to.
Tell Brandon
wanna
to bring
play.
a spec call.
We've shot them over no spec decoys plenty of times, but just
Yeah.
lately they're checking you out. They're just outside of the range, but I feel like if I just
I know.
had some,
I'll bring a 10 gauge.
if I just had the couple spec decoys out there for them to key in on, lights out, game over.
So ducks, specs, Canada's.
Yeah. What do you think, Josh?
Snows.
No spinner? Spinner.
I don't know. You put it out.
Oh,
If it works,
I'm going to
great.
do the new XHDI with the remote, the black wings that stop
Sick.
facing up. So that'll
That's
be. I think we
awesome.
just need one.
I'm
Right?
excited.
Mm-hmm.
I think just one.
I think one's good.
Yeah.
Agitator.
Yeah, a couple agitators.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll bring me.
Yep.
Good job, Pat.
Show up. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you guys will be leading the way.
Oh, it'll be good.
This is your territory,
Yeah.
so to speak. I mean, I've gone, but nothing like you guys.
So, anything else on?
High five.
Is that going to make it into a short?
Probably.
Talking to himself over there.
Well, I
He's
don't know.
high-fiving himself.
I'm staring at some stuff that people don't know about yet. I'm not even going to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
That looks good.
You haven't really got to put your hands on them yet.
Nope. But as soon as this is done,
It's been back here for like 3 weeks.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Y'all can't see it, but we've got some secret stuff in here.
For anybody
That'll be
watching,
hitting.
we're not really in a barn.
Yeah.
We're in a studio, and there's always like
And across from me, there's
There's always, like,
some new goods.
new products just trickling in and out.
Yeah,
You know,
Josh gets to see them, all of them, all the time.
Usually,
They just end up at his desk.
Yeah.
Like, well, this is new.
Here you go.
Here you go. Take some pictures.
yeah. So Josh, does take a lot of pictures of products that go to our website.
Yeah.
Like brand new products and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's that one over there, too.
Which one?
The one over by the wall. I mean, it's not really that new, but it hasn't been released yet.
Okay. See, there's some stuff laying around here I got to check out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Like I said, I'm going to say it every podcast leading up to the events.
Okay.
Because we got to remind everybody every single time. So, NWTF National Convention, February 14th through the
18th?
really the 17th.
Really 17th.
Thursday or
Sunday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Sunday, there's a
Worship and
yeah,
some
something.
finishing up stuff for that.
Yeah.
Wednesday is more of a setup day, but public Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Nashville, Tennessee. So we will all be out there having tons of fun. So if you haven't been before and you're able to go, that'd be awesome. If you have gone before, make sure you stop by and check out Rogers Sporting Goods. We'll be there for the duration of the event. And then we take a couple weeks off. And then we will be in Des Moines, Iowa for the Iowa Deer Classic for the first time. So we're super pumped and excited for that. We will have a booth. It will be upstairs on the second floor by the scoring tables and some of the seminar areas and the big bucks.
Yeah.
So check us out there. So we'll be there for the couple days that's going on. And then we take about 1 month to get ready for our first big event of the year, which is our Fishing Frenzy 24 event, April 6th at the store location in Liberty, Missouri. And that's an all-day event, food trucks and giveaways. And we got this big, giant fish tank this year.
That's the one I'm excited for.
So,
I'm excited for all of them, but that fish tank, man, I've always wanted to have the fish tank at the store.
And
I've always wanted to get up there and flip a lure into that fish tank and watch
because you can
15 bass attack it. You know?
And now we can.
Yeah.
Because you never can when you go to a show and you're like, you can't mess with the tank.
I'd love to
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
But it's our tank for that day.
We got to figure out how long it's going to be there. We're going to have to like Sunday morning.
I'm going to go in the middle of the night when the tank is filling up.
Sunday morning, before he's picked up and left, we'll be out there with all of our lures, like testing them out. Like, try it with this weight, try it with this hook.
Hayden, you got to be on top of it that day. We're going to get some good footage with those Rogers baits.
I plan on it.
And there'll be seminars that we already have scheduled from other companies too. So keep an eye out for that. We got 2 food trucks. We got, you know how we do it.
Yeah.
We just keep making it bigger.
So, yeah, the seminar things, like, it says seminar. It's not like
you're not going to sit there and it's going to be boring.
You're not going to sit there
just like,
and listen to a PA speaker go.
No.
It's going to be, you're going to watch lures hit the water and see what they do. That's and how really the fish react to them.
Yeah, that's the focus. So, because it's hard for me to grab a whopper plopper that's been out for a while. Yeah. And you try to tell people what it looks like in the water.
Yeah.
And say, well, this is what it does and the sound it makes. But now you take that lure, you cast it out in the tank. You also have fish reacting to it.
Yeah.
And you get to see what it looks like in action before you buy it. So, anyways, super cool. I'm super excited. So those are our kind of 3 things happening, which I'm going to tell you again when we do our next podcast. So with that, we're rocking and rolling.
Oh, yeah.
So we're finishing up our seasons here, and hopefully everybody's had a good finishing up their season. So
we're getting there. And then conservation order around the corner.
Ooh, yeah.
Waterfall season isn't over yet.
Not yet.
No. So like we said, we've talked about, like, if you really want to go crazy, you can go all year.
You can travel.
You can shoot snows in Canada in May. You know that.
So you can get after.
You can always chase a couple
Not
pigeons.
that angry at him.
You got time. If you want to spend the time, you can get after.
Correct.
It. So we appreciate everybody listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel, Rogers Sporting Goods. Like it, subscribe. So make sure you get our new content. You're always up to date on anything we're shooting videos of or showing stuff or giveaways we're going to give out or who knows what we'll do. So we appreciate everybody listening. Make sure you have a good week and be safe out there. Enjoy the outdoors. And until next time, peace.
I think it's time for me to go and burn all bridges.